never thought a simple flight home for the holidays would turn into the most humiliating day of my marriage. My wife was 7 months pregnant, exhausted, and we'd been granted priority boarding like any expecting mother should. But one woman, this furious HOA-type Karen, in a crisp blazer, decided that day that my wife was faking it all. She accused her loud enough for the entire gate to hear of lying about her pregnancy just to cut the line. My blood boiled as strangers stared. Phones came out, and my wife's face went white with shame. I was ready to lose it until the gate supervisor stepped in, pulled up the records on her computer, and everything changed in an instant. Let me take you back to how this nightmare started. My name's Alex, and my wife Mia and I live in a quiet suburb outside Denver. We'd flown out to visit her parents for Thanksgiving, and now, late November, we were heading home. Mia's pregnancy had been tough. High blood pressure, constant nausea, the works. But she was glowing that day despite the fatigue. We checked in online, uploaded the medical note like the airline requires for priority boarding after 28 weeks, and everything was approved, or so we thought. We got to the gate early because Mia's back was killing her, and standing for long made her swell up. The agent scanned our tickets, smiled, and waved us into the priority lane. That's when Karen appeared. Mid 50 seconds, perfectly highlighted hair, designer carry-on, and that unmistakable look of someone who spent years policing neighborhood Christmas lights and trash can placement. She was standing right behind us, in regular boarding, arms crossed, lips pursed, staring at Mia's belly like it personally offended her. At first, it was just the stare. Then a loud sigh. Then she leaned forward and muttered, "Unbelievable," loud enough for me to hear. My wife glanced back nervously, but said nothing. I squeezed her hand. We were inches from the jet bridge. Freedom, but Karen wasn't done. As the agent took our boarding passes, Karen pushed forward, actually pushed, and snapped, "Excuse me, but I think there's been a mistake here." The agent looked up, confused. Karen pointed straight at Mia's stomach. This woman is clearly not as far along as she claims. I've seen enough pregnancies in my time to know. She's abusing priority boarding, and it's unfair to those of us who follow the rules. The gate area went dead silent. Every single person turned. Mia froze, her hand instinctively covering her bump. I felt my face burn hot. "Ma'am," I started, trying to keep my voice steady. "My wife is 7 months pregnant. We have documentation." Karen cut me off with a sharp laugh. "Documentation? Anyone can print something off the internet these days. I've lived in gated communities for 20 years. I know how people game the system." She turned to the agent. "I demand you check her records properly. I'm not boarding until this is resolved." The agent, a young guy who clearly wasn't paid enough for this, hesitated. "Ma'am, their boarding passes scanned fine and priority was pre-approved." "Not good enough," barked Karen. "Call your supervisor now." Mia's eyes filled with tears. She whispered to me, "Alex, I just want to sit down." Her voice cracked. Strangers were openly filming now. A teenage girl whispered, "That's messed up," to her mum. An older man shook his head. I wanted to shout, to drag Karen away, anything, but I knew exploding would only make it worse for Mia. Then the gate supervisor arrived. Tall woman, mid-40 seconds, name tag reading L. Ramirez. Calm, professional, no nonsense. Karen launched into her speech again, louder this time, gesturing wildly at Mia's belly. This is fraud. She's taking advantage of a benefit meant for truly pregnant women. I won't stand for it. Supervisor Ramirez listened without expression, then turned to the agent. Pull up their reservation. The agent typed quickly. Karen smirked, folding her arms like she'd already won. Ramirez studied the screen for what felt like forever. My heart pounded. Mia gripped my arms so hard it hurt. Finally, Ramirez looked up, not at Karen, but straight at Mia. Her face softened. Then she turned to Karen and her voice went ice cold. Ma'am, I've reviewed the records. Everything is in order. Karen opened her mouth to protest, but Ramirez raised a hand. In fact, Mrs. Thompson here isn't just approved for priority boarding. She's flagged for additional assistance due to a high-risk pregnancy. Doctor's note uploaded 3 weeks ago, confirmed by our medical desk. Karen's face twitched. Well, Ramirez wasn't finished. And just so we're clear, falsely accusing a passenger of fraud is a serious matter. I'll be noting this incident. The gate erupted in murmurs. Someone actually clapped. Karen went bright red, grabbed her bag, and stormed to the back of the line without another word. I thought that was the end of it. We boarded, got Mia settled with extra pillows, and I held her while she quietly cried from the stress. I was furious, relieved, ready to put the whole thing behind us. But that wasn't the end. Not even close. We settled into our seats. Row 12, bulkhead, extra legroom the airline had automatically assigned because of Mia's high-risk flag. I helped her buckle the seatbelt under her bump, got her water, and tried to joke about how we'd laugh at this later. But Mia wasn't laughing. She kept staring out the window, eyes glassy, one hand protectively on her stomach. I've never felt so small in my life, she whispered. I kissed her forehead and promised that Karen would think twice next time. The plane filled up slowly. Passengers filed past, some giving us sympathetic smiles, others avoiding eye contact, like we were still the center of drama. That's when I noticed her again. Karen boarded last, of course, now stuck in a middle seat near the back because she'd stormed off in a huff and lost her original spot. She shuffled down the aisle, clutching her bag like a shield, face still flushed from the gate showdown. Most people ignored her, but a few shot dirty looks. She avoided eye contact with everyone until she reached our row. She stopped dead. For a split second, I thought she'd apologize. But no. Her eyes locked on Mia's belly again, narrowed, and then flicked up to me with pure venom. She muttered something under her breath, sounded like ridiculous, and kept moving. I felt my jaw clench. Mia didn't even look up. She just squeezed my hand harder. The flight attendants did their safety demo. Doors armed, taxi to the runway. I figured that was it. I was so wrong. About 20 minutes after takeoff, drinks cart rolling, the cabin lights dimmed for the movie service, Mia finally dozed off against my shoulder. I was watching some mindless action flick when a shadow fell over us. I looked up. There was Karen standing in the aisle right next to our row, phone in hand. She was angling her camera straight at Mia's sleeping face and exposed belly, recording. "What the hell are you doing?" I hissed. Karen gave me a smug little smile. "Documenting fraud for the airline's corporate office." I unbuckled, ready to stand. "Delete that right now." "Or what?" she whispered. I'll post this to our neighborhood Facebook group too. That's when it hit me. She recognized us from home. She was on our HOA board. Her name was Deborah Whitmore. "Deborah," I said quietly. "Stop now, or I call the crew," she smirked. "Go ahead." Mia stirred awake, saw Deborah looming, and went pale again. I hit the call button immediately. A flight attendant arrived fast. I explained. "Passenger recording my pregnant wife without consent, making repeated accusations." Minutes later, the captain announced federal regulations prohibit recording other passengers without permission. Subtle shade, but Deborah wasn't done. When Mia later walked past her row, Deborah stuck her foot out. Mia stumbled hard. The cabin gasped. I whipped around. "Are you serious right now?" Deborah feigned innocence. Mia was shaking. "Alex, I felt the baby kick hard. I need to sit." The purser was called. Mia explained about placenta issues. The purser radioed the cockpit. The captain announced an unscheduled stop and federal authorities meeting the aircraft. Phones came out again, this time aimed at Deborah. Air marshals boarded in Salt Lake City. Deborah was escorted away, protesting. After 20 minutes, they returned with Deborah handcuffed. She was removed for interfering with crew and endangering a passenger. The cabin applauded. As she was led off, Deborah twisted around and shouted, "Ask your wife how she really got that doctor's note. Ask her about the clinic in Boulder." The applause died. Mia froze. Deborah accused Mia of trying to buy a fake note, claiming her husband lost his job over it. The cabin went silent. Mia admitted she had been desperate, panicked, but said the current documentation was legitimate. Deborah was pulled away, sobbing. We landed in Denver an hour late. No applause, just silence. Mia and I haven't spoken much since. The doubt lingers, and every time I pass Deborah's house, now for sale, I feel a knot in my gut. Was Deborah a monster who terrorized a pregnant woman? Or a wife fighting back the only way she knew how? I still don't have an answer. But one thing's for sure, I'll never look at priority boarding or my own wife the same way again. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Every single subscription motivates me to bring you even more exciting and dramatic HOA stories. And don't forget to tap the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I'll see you in the next story where justice gets even more satisfying.